The Blues Fan Forum podcast is presented by Interstate 70 Sports Media Group. I-70 strives to bring you the best sports coverage in the tri-state area. Find them on Facebook or at interstate70sports.media.
This is Jordan Bennington, and you're listening to the Blues Fan Forum podcast.
On the ice, under St. Louis city lights, where the Blues play with all their might. Jordan Cairo, fast on the attack, but defense falters, gotta cut him some slack. In rubber tongues, we find our glory. His skills shine, the team's best story. St. Louis Blues, we wear the crest. In Jordan Bennington, we put our trust to the test. On the ice, we fight.
Hello there, everybody, and welcome to episode 138 of the Blues Fan Forum podcast, your source for Blues news, views, and fan interviews, presented by Scooters Coffee. Blues fans can score amazing drinks like the signature Caramelicious, served hot, iced, or blended, with world-class espresso, fruit smoothies, Scoot energy infusions, and so much more. That is amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast. Scooters Coffee. We are back with another episode. This is episode 138 featuring Luke S. I almost said fifth. The sixth time we've had our guest on, which is Luke. Luke, how are you?
Good. How are we doing, everybody?
Good. I do need to preface that we are a little bit late, and it's because Luke, who is in the age of a college student, does not know how to work technology. So it took us a while, but we got there.
It's the technology wasn't up to par.
Yeah, we're back.
Okay. Dakota's here too. Dakota, how are you?
Good. Again, coming to us again with another week of some disappointing hockey. But hey, like I say every time, better seasons are ahead.
Better seasons are ahead. Streaks follow streaks, right? We do have a couple fans on already. Of course, Sam. What's up, Sam? I guess she likes my shirt and your shirt. Okay, I would say I like Dakota's shirt better, but this is a Blues Fan Forum podcast original, Jordan freaking Bennington. So I would say you can go buy it, but I think the store is down. So it's running out. I think I got to fix that. All right. We do have Noah on YouTube. Noah, appreciate you being here. And then Chico is watching on YouTube. Apparently, he says, "What's up?" Normally, he's watching on Facebook. All right. I wanted to start with something completely random and kind of embarrass myself because I thought it was funny when I did this morning. Yesterday, Sunday, I played in an indoor soccer game, and after taking a week off from indoor and then going and playing, it was bad. I played pretty well, but I was just out of breath and gassed, and it wasn't great. So as a former college athlete and then a person who after college soccer ended, I did a lot of like collegiate refereeing, so I had to be in shape. That's done now. I am in the worst shape of my life, no doubt. Well, I decided to measure it based on pounds by stepping on a scale this morning. And I have a scale that like connects to an app, and I haven't used it in like 3 years because I just was like, I don't care. I'm living my life. I'm enjoying it. I stepped on the scale and it weighed me, and then it made a notification and it goes, "Is this you? This is significantly higher than the last time you weighed." And I was like, fuck you, scale. Like, so that's how I started my morning, was getting told off by my little, 12-inch by 12-inch scale that I have on the floor. So it's a great Monday. I also took that to heart and attempted to run a 5K today, which is why I'm coughing and my chest hurts and my legs hurt. I ran a 5K in, what did I say, 37 minutes, which is better than what I thought I would do. So
Hey, better than most. Some people won't even attempt the 5K. So,
I was going to say, I say I ran the 5K. It was like a 50% run, 50% walk. So it was okay. All right. Now that we have my embarrassing story out of the way, let's talk hockey. And before we get into anything, Luke, I just kind of want to get your general ideas or thoughts on everything that's happened with the Blues so far this year.
Everything?
I mean, whatever you want to dive into.
Well, I went to the Blues-Hawks game, which was, I don't know what game it was, but 8-3 loss. So that really kicked off the season pretty well for me. It's just been bad, man. I don't know how else to put it. There's
How many games have you been to?
One.
Oh, that's it? Okay, I thought you've been to more.
I wasn't going back after that. But no, we're going the 12th, all inclusive. So I'll either get to drink my pain away or we'll win. So it's a win-win, really.
Either way, you're going to drink a lot.
Yeah, but it's just the wins aren't good even when we win, and when we lose bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good way to put it, I guess.
It's a really solid way to put it.
That is like sometimes you can have good losses, and I don't think we've had good losses. Like our losses are either blowouts or we give up like a 2 or 3 goal lead, and it's like, or a 4 goal lead, and it's like, what the hell? So there's
even when we lost to Seattle, we got dominated like the whole game. I didn't really watch the game, but I just saw the Blues Views, his recap, and NHL Gateway, their recap. And it was obviously a bad call, but all they said was we got like outshot, outskilled, outpossessed, everything.
It's so bad that like when we have a lead, and I know it's like been few and far between this year, but like us fans are sweating. Because we're like, oh shit. Like, don't give us a 2-goal lead. Don't give us a 1-goal lead. Don't give us a lead in general. We're just gonna end up coughing it up. I think it's better just to come back from like a 2-goal deficit than to have one. So
it's actually funny because when they get scored, I was like, okay, that's good. That's good.
We have a chance, and then you're like, oh no, we don't.
So bad.
Yeah, it's not great. Let's go ahead and cover some of the most recent games. So since the last episodes we recorded last Monday, it would have been released on Wednesday. So in between that, on Tuesday, the Blues played at home against Calgary, ended up with a 3-2 win. Holloway gets his 4th goal of the year. Kessel, just kind of recently thrown into the starting lineup with Logan Mailloux sent down, gets his 1st goal. And Walker gets his 2nd goal of the year. Binnington stops 38 of 40. Was anyone excited, and Luke, I'll start with you, about beating Calgary?
Well, since the season's been going how it was, getting a win was exciting, but the win was not exciting. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Calgary is also we're, I think, the 2nd worst team in the NHL. Calgary's the 1st worst team in the NHL. So 1st worst, I guess. So that's kind of one that it was nice to win. It would have been nice again to, like Luke said, be more exciting. But yeah, ended up there. I do have a note here that after winning that game, Blues did have 7 points in their last 5 games. So in their last 5 games before that, they had 3 wins, 1 shootout or 1 overtime loss, which was the Seattle one, and then a blowout against Washington. So we beat Calgary, and again, it's the worst team in the league, and we're the 2nd worst team in the league. But you still kind of see a little bit of, are we getting there? 7 points in our last 5 games, 3-1-1. There's some hope there. Did you, Luke, ever feel any hope?
I mean, like with it being this early in the season, obviously a team can get hot and they can rattle off 4 in a row, and then they're either in a playoff spot or two out, somewhere around there. But no, I've never felt any hope. I mean, they had a 3-goal lead against Calgary, and then they let 2 in a minute, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
I believe so.
They lost to Seattle in a heartbreak, even though they shouldn't have won with a goal
Oh, the
interference.
goalie interference. Yep.
I don't know. There's 3-1-1. What are their other wins?
They shut out Buffalo. They beat Edmonton 3-2, and then this Calgary win.
That was probably the best win of the year. Was against Edmonton.
Yeah.
Other than Hofer standing on his head. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I think you put it so good. Like the win didn't even feel good. Like I think it's a relief to get a win because it's like we've been seeing so many L's hit the schedule. It's like fuck, something's got to give. But like, yeah, even the wins are kind of like fuck. Like okay, cool, like that happened. But then you're not seeing anything. Like you're not seeing the statistics. We're not going up in the standings. We're just like we win 1, we lose 2. We win 1, we lose 2, and it's like we're not actually making up ground. And like people always talk about the 2019 team, like we just like shit the bed, but like we actually had a decent team. Like we just for some reason just couldn't put it together. And we have a decent team. I think Jacob, you made a post about it, today or yesterday, whatever. But like, I think it might have been you, Luke, actually on the lounge. But like, we had a good team last year. We made it. We almost beat the what do you call those guys? The President's Trophy winners.
President's Trophy.
And now we have pretty much the same identical roster with maybe a couple additions. And now it doesn't even seem like we can. The playoffs are a distant memory. Like we're not even close to getting there this year. So like, what changed? And people are of course going to come out of the woodwork. Oh, it's this and that. It's Montgomery. It's like no, it's the fucking team.
Well, like. Some comments that were on there, I said we didn't lose a key piece, which the only key piece that you can really say we lost was Bolduc. And everybody's like, oh, well, we lost Letty, we lost Suter, we lost Foxa. And I was like, do you guys know what key pieces are, or are you just going to rattle off?
Those are corner pieces.
Yeah, you can name the whole roster if you think that's what key pieces are.
We lost Colton Ellis. Without him in the AHL, like, God, I can't even keep it straight there. Right. I did see Luke's post in the lounge, and I read some of the comments, and I do have some stuff to talk about kind of related to that, comparing this team versus the end of last year team. So we will get to that. Chico has a good question here for you guys to tackle. He says, the Blues have the worst goal differential in the NHL. Hearing that, would you say what is the most concerning? Is it the offense not scoring, the defense not playing well, or the goalie tandem having probably the worst goals against average in the league? Luke, you're the guest. You get to go first.
Oh, I get to go first?
Chico didn't prep you for this one?
No. He told me to talk about the Blackhawks. Well, I seen a stat that like 5-on-5, they have the most like expected goals. I mean, you got to play good defense to play good offense. Blues have always been a defensive team first. They haven't been a team that's going to light up the scoreboard every year. Obviously, they can, but just the Blues' identity is playing good defense, winning in the corners, having the goalie situation has been getting better. If they can pick it up on the defensive end, which I remember so Vegas hasn't let up 30 shots yet in a game, and I remember the Blues had it for a while, but there's just too many defensive breakdowns. They keep them to the outside for most of the game, and then they just have like a few defensive breakdowns, and then it's like just wide open goal. So the defense definitely not playing to par would be the top of my list.
Dakota, you want to tackle this?
I mean, I feel like they're all pretty important, but I think for me, it's the goalie tandem. I think I've mentioned this multiple times. I'm still going to stand on that hill and die on it, but it's just like if if you play good offense and you have decent defense, it's at the end of the ring that matters the most. Like if your goaltenders are allowing a large sample size of pucks to go in the net, like it doesn't matter. Like they put in 5, and the other team puts in 5. Like goals got to stop at some point. And so I don't know what it is about our goalie tandem. I think we've spoken very highly of Joel Hofer. I mean, shit, he just got paid. And Jordan Binnington obviously is, some may say a god here in St. Louis. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have the Stanley Cup in 2019. But like, did we get goaltenders, or do we have goaltenders who have peaked already? I've said this already about Jordan Binnington. Like, I love the guy. I think he's a great goaltender. Shit, he really showed us why he is an elite goaltender in the Four Nations. But like, statistics are everything when it comes to goaltenders. Like, it's the GAA, it's the save percentage, it's the wins and the losses. I'm not going to ask Joel Hofer or Jordan Binnington to put up a shutout every time he's out there. But like, if you're letting the team score a large amount of goals every single time you're in net, like, then you're not doing your job. So I believe it's the goalie tandem. I think we're going to make a large splash here soon. I don't believe Jordan Binnington and Joel Hofer will be a Blue. I think that some of those contracts that we could because they're both on 2-year deals, right? I think they both expire at the same time. I'd love to see us go get a goaltender, but now that we're doing so shitty, I don't know if they're expendable. I don't know if we can go get somebody with larger talent. So I believe it's the goalie tandem.
All right. Thanks, Chico, for the question. That was good. I do have some stats. Whoa, I shouldn't run. I do have some stats that'll kind of go back to that question too. Wanted to get through the most recent games before I get through those. I will go ahead and a couple other comments we have. We do have, it looks like Aaron listening on YouTube who says, "May the Lord bless us." So thank you, Aaron, and thank you, Jesus. Appreciate that. And then Sam made a good point here. It's something that I kind of totally forgot to even write down and talk about. Yes. Hunter Skinner making his NHL debut. Did you guys happen to see the interview with his parents?
Yep.
It was
that kind of got it. That was emotional.
Yeah, it was. It was emotional, and yeah, voice went from it's just really, or it's really proud of just. And I'm just so proud of him. And I was like, oh God, dude, like on TV. And I feel for him, like 100%. Like, I get it. But yeah, man, the voice change was dramatic.
Yeah, that was really...
So yes, congratulations to Hunter Skinner. They mentioned multiple times on the broadcast. It's not even about Hunter Skinner. Like when a person makes the NHL and they plays their first game, it's a family event. And so, I 100% did just make fun of his dad, but I understand why that was, happening. So next game to cover here is Friday, 11-14. The Blues played at home against Philadelphia. The Flyers ended up in a 6-5 shootout loss. Cairo gets his 6th of the year, Snuggerud his 5th, Falk his 4th, Holloway his 5th, and Thomas only his 3rd. But keep in mind, he did miss some time. In this game, we had 2 separate 2-goal leads that we let Philadelphia come back from. And then Trevor Zegras, who is somehow hitting at a 60% mark on shootouts, makes one and lose because none of us make it. So, Luke, thoughts on the Philly game?
I don't know what to say. I actually had it made me so bad because I had a parlay. I don't know why I keep betting on the Blues because they always ruin my big parlays. Thankfully, another team lost in overtime on one of them, where I would have been really mad. But I watched the entire game. They were up 3-1, right? 3-1, 3-3, 5-3. I don't know, man. It's just like I feel like they're playing not to lose rather than playing to win. How did you say that?
Listen to our podcast last week. I think I said that.
It's also like, well, we're probably the worst second period team in hockey. Yes.
Mhm.
It's also like you play your third line defense the least amount of minutes in the NHL. You can only keeping a 2-goal lead with 2 defensive lines is going to be pretty hard no matter how you put it. So we got to start rolling lines.
So you think it's a fatigue issue? The top 4 are just getting too tired because they're just alternating shifts, and that third line goes in every other couple shifts?
I mean, yeah, somewhat. I don't even think the third line. I'm not sure why the third line plays. Maybe it's because Logan Mailloux started the year on the third line and he was terrible. But I don't think our third line is that bad that they should be.
I mean, I think it's chemistry too. Like we talked about it, a couple of times before the season started, and I think it just is more important now than ever. But Jim Montgomery has never been afraid to shuffle lines, which is great, cool. Find the chemistry, but it's really hard to develop chemistry if you're constantly shuffling lines. Like if you watch Draisaitl and McDavid, I bet you they could play blindfolded and they would find each other's sticks. Like that's how good they are at finding each other. And close and Blues lack that chemistry, and you can easily see that when they're making their transition from the D zone to the O zone, whether it be in the neutral zone, they don't know who's behind them, where the puck's going, who's going to take it. You see guys pinching in when they shouldn't. Oh, is this guy going to get it? Is this guy going to get it? Like if you're having that confused mentality on the ice, I mean that's what practice is for. That's what those pregame warm-ups are for. It's hard to kind of watch a team that's lacking so much chemistry.
All right. After that game, I again tried to be bright side and said, you know what? We lost in a shootout. We gave up those 2-goal leads. That sucks. But we still have 8 points in our 3, 1, and 2, which still, makes me feel like we're on the up and up. And then Saturday happened, and we played Vegas. And Vegas is a good team. Calgary, not a good team. Philadelphia, kind of in the middle. Vegas, good team, and we lose 4-1. That one is a consolation goal that we scored towards the end of the third period when the game was 4-0 at the time. Broberg gets the goal. Hofer stops 30 of 34. Really, I don't think on Hofer, just the team not there. I actually looked up on Money Puck our deserve to win meter, which measures the shots and the chances that shots can turn into goals and kind of figures that we would win that game. And we had a 28% chance to win, which is not a high number for those of you that aren't math people. Luke, thoughts on the Vegas game?
Just it was bad. It wasn't start off 1-0, then you take a bad penalty. I don't even know if it was a bad penalty, but just letting up a penalty and having the worst penalty kill in the league, and then you're down 2-0. Start second period, they actually started to battle back, and then Walker just smokes a dude in the face. Never.
That was at the end of the second, and then they had that.
I mean, they showed signs. Yeah. They just could, the goalie couldn't catch anything. If you guys watched the game, everything was falling out of his glove. He should have just put more pucks to the net. But yeah, not great. Like the whole season. That's all I got.
All right. An interesting thought, and I know Luke's going to have more on this because this is the way I know that Luke plays sports, is on the radio as I was listening to a 4-minute ride home, and on the radio in that time span, Joey Vitale was talking about this team and talking about the game, and he said something that he probably wishes he could take back, because after he said it, he immediately said, I shouldn't have said that. But he said, he's like, hard as they can and hurt somebody. And then he kind of goes, oh, I should have said that. Like, I'm sorry. And I agree with him. He probably should have said that, especially being a sportscaster. He probably shouldn't wish on injury to happen to somebody. And he stepped it back immediately. But I'm pissed off that you don't see anymore. And I think part of it is because you're not allowed to. Like, as public figures for these Blues, like these any professional sport, you're not allowed to get actions, and people are going to tear apart you online, or you're probably going to get fines. So Luke and Dakota, and I have an idea of, I think I probably already know the answers to these. Luke, do you wish that there was more pissed off attitude that you could see in person, instead of just, oh, we lost again, we're going to work on it, we're going to practice, and we're going to get better?
Oh, 100%. As in like skating off the ice.
Honestly, I wouldn't be upset to see somebody break their stick because they're mad that they gave up a goal, or just slam the door, whatever it is. Show some sort of emotion, because you're allowed to show emotion when you're good. So why can't you show emotion when you're pissed off?
I was actually thinking about that a little bit ago. It's like, I don't know how they keep their composure as much as they do. Like, they let in 4 goals, and they're just like, oh, okay, well, let's just go back to the bench. And then their post-game interviews are just like, yeah, we got to get better. Nobody's holding anybody accountable. Obviously, you don't want to bash anybody on your post-game interviews but it's like, it just feels like the post-game interviews are the same. It's like, oh yeah, we got to be better at this. We know that. Also, kick Bush off too. Hopefully, we're talking about that later.
We can. That might come up. Dakota, what's your thoughts?
I mean, yeah, I feel like there could be a lot more energy directed at being pissed off and angry. I think especially when I'm like in high school sports, like there's a lot of passion, right? There's a lot of passion when it comes to like a sport that you enjoy playing. And so I feel like if you're passionately off, and then it just kind of ruins the nature of the team. I feel like energy is something that your team easily feeds off of. I didn't play college sports, but in high school, like if we were pissed off because we lost the last game, like you bet your ass that's fire. Professional sports, it's the same way. Like, yeah, you can turn your momentum around at a given moment, but if you're, in your press, like I like watching Jim Montgomery. I think he's like the biggest like measuring stick of the team. That's the guy that's having to take a press conference, come win or loss. And he's like, as cool as a number, you can tell his energy very well to the press, because obviously they're going to take whatever he says and they're going to run with it. But like, if you see guys like Braden Shen, and I know they talk to Bukestad doesn't really say much. He's kind of a quiet guy. But like Shen, again, that's the captain of your team. He's kind of like the measuring stick as well. Like what's going on inside the locker room. And he's still, we didn't fucking play our best tonight, and we got to fucking be better. And I think they said that 2 games ago. They had a press conference, and one of the guys, I can't remember who, was like, oh, it was Jim Montgomery. He goes, we owe it to our fans and our city to play better. And right now, the result on the ice isn't what we want, and it's not what we're going to. It's not going to change that. Be the change that you want to be. Instead of being pissed off that you're not scoring goals, fucking make the change and start putting ones in the net. So I believe that if you're pissed off for the right reasons, absolutely. I believe that break a fucking stick. I'm surprised JB, with how fiery he gets about trying to beat Marc-Andre Fleury's ass from 200 feet away. I'm surprised he hasn't chucked the stick or like broken a water bottle or chucked something into the. Besides taking Alexander Ovechkin's puck, be pissed. I don't fucking know. Just do something to rile somebody up. I don't know. Just get pissed off. Yeah.
Luke did comment on here, and this is the clip that's right here, but he commented and said, I guess our screen is lagging. Samantha confirms it is lagging bad. I also got a text message. There's nothing I can do about it. It'd be something StreamYard related, and we're fine here. So I have no clue what I would do to fix it besides restart. And we're 30 minutes in, so I'd rather not do that. So hopefully not. Then I guess you'll have to listen to the episode on Spotify, Amazon, or Apple on Wednesday. To go back to exactly what Dakota said of Jordan Binnington, you remember when Jordan Binnington was getting pissed off and the nation thought he was nuts? Anyone who watched hockey was like, this guy's crazy. This guy shouldn't be in the league. This guy, is a psycho or whatever. And that's the reason that you're not allowed to show emotion. Now, I will say, I think there was one time that he swung his stick at somebody. That's the emotion that you probably shouldn't have. Okay. But bumping into somebody after a game because you're pissed off, I don't have any problems with that. And I think that's the emotion that I'm sure these guys are pissed off. They're professional hockey players and they are in the sport because they love the sport. No one plays a professional sport. I would say no one even plays it at the college level because they are okay with losing. So I know these guys are pissed off, but they're just so trained to, have those blanket answers of, we're not happy, but we're going to keep working and we're a team and we're going to go get family dinner tomorrow night. So we'll be okay. Do all that stupid shit where it's no, fucking Buchnevich has sucked and he probably needs to play better. Or have those conversations behind closed doors. And I don't know, we'll never know if those comments are happening or not, but that I think is what needs to happen.
Apparently,
did you see the
stream's fine now?
Did you see the interview from? I don't know who the fuck he was talking to. I guess it was John Montgomery to maybe Jeremy Rutherford. But he was talking that we haven't been on a real road trip in a while. We're about to be on the road for about 4 or 5 games, right?
Yeah, East Coast.
He said we're gonna go get a team. And we talked about chemistry about 10 minutes ago on the podcast, but is this what the team needs? Do they need to get away from Enterprise? Do they need to just kind of put themselves on the road, get away from the hustle and bustle of St. Louis, all the fans being pissed off at them because they haven't started off great? Is this what the team needs to kind of regroup? And going into this, and this is for you and Luke, but what would be a success on this road trip? What would be a success? Would it be winning 4-1? Would it be 3-2? Would it be 2-3? What would be something that you could come away from this road trip being we succeeded, we've gotten better? What would that be?
For reference, Luke, the road trip is Toronto, Philly, Islanders, Rangers, Devils.
Mm-hmm. It's actually funny you brought that up because if Chico's still watching, I brought up that same thing. I told him, I was because I was thinking about that. I was Blues haven't had a long road trip yet. I feel like they need to get out. And then I saw that quote. So New Jersey, Toronto, Philly.
And the 2 New York.
So New York can't win at home.
The Rangers
so I'd be happy to win that.
Okay.
Rangers. I'd be happy with if we go 4-1. That'd be if we do exactly what we did at home, 3-1-1 or whatever that was. That's 5 games, 3-1-1. I'd be happy with that. I'd be pretty happy, very happy with that, I should say.
And then we come home.
Yeah,
because of the sweater conspiracy, we'd be wearing it again.
As long as every loss isn't a blowout and every win is if every game's close, it could be 3. happened, I'd be happy.
We have some good news though. Jake Neighbors did take the trip, so
He is on the road trip.
he is on the road trip. But does that mean we can talk from this? I feel like we have one more game to talk about.
No, this is it. This is the last game. We talked about Saturday.
But do we see some like line juggling? Does Dalibor Dvorsky stay in? Does a Sundqvist come out? Does a Nathan Walker sit out? Like, how are we going to still keep? Well, I guess you can't. Dalibor's got to go down unless they send Hunter Skinner down. But
When they pulled up, I don't know what their roster is, but they sent Texier down when they pulled up Dvorsky. So I'm not sure what Puckpedia says, but they might be one under right now.
So Dvorsky could stay. I would rather him stay and get NHL time because he's going to be an absolute unit next year, and you're going to want that guy to have as much NHL time. It doesn't matter if he's getting 10 minutes a game. NHL time is going to be much better than AHL time. That, in my opinion, I'm sure you guys have different opinions.
Do you think
like,
Logan
that's
Mailloux
how I
should
see it.
stay up?
Look, Luke. You know what? No. Don't catch me don't catch me a lie. No.
No, but I
do that.
Dvorsky's a lot better. But no, that's funny.
I thought Texier
I agree with you. I agree.
Texier is still on the roster. So if they decide that send him down, though, but apparently I was wrong. Yeah, I would still. I mean, honestly, I think you do. I will say Buchnevich is not scoring, but he is still doing a lot of non-scoring, non-assists. Is still playing on the first line, though we are paying him $8 million. So you would rather it, to be doing those good non-assist, non-scoring things, but also do some great scoring things. I do still think 19 games into the season, he has, I believe, 2 goals, and both of them are on the power play. So he has yet to score 5-on-5.
214 consecutive days since he
hasn't scored in
regular season 5-on-5.
Dang.
I mean, the fact that he's making as much as he is and as little as he is producing is quite possibly one of the biggest disappointments of the year.
Yeah.
I mean, we signed him thinking I think we signed him in 2020. I can't remember
when we made the trade for him. Second round.
Thomas is making $6.5 million. And he has gotten to
No,
I'm
he's
sorry,
8.
you're right.
Thomas is
8.25. Yeah. So we signed him though to that contract when he was at 80-something points. Buchnevich signed his contract when he had 67 points. So what did we feel like we were going to get out of 6, 7? Yeah.
Right. We're done. I'm ending this.
Well, that's not true. You're saying he put up 70 with the Rangers? Because
I thought that he.
I think the code is saying after I think we had him for 2 years. One of the years he scored somewhere between 67 points. Somewhere between 68 and 70.
It's been a steady decline.
The most.
7.
Yeah, steady decline. Yeah, because he had what 73 you said or 76?
67, 63, 57.
It was immediately a decline. He hasn't produced nearly as what, not even close. And he's at 7 points this year, 6 points. 7 points. Okay.
I bet there's somewhere out there that does a point per dollar value and shows like, McDare's 120 points a season. So each point is worth like $100 or something. Whatever it is. And I'd be interested to see what Buchnevich is like, his 8 million compared to the amount of points he scores. Be like, yeah, we're paying, $1 million. Well, that would be 8 points, and he gets more than 8 points. Yeah.
I was on track for about 30.
Yeah, Buchnevich has more goal or margin making 775,000. He has more points than the guy that's making 8. So good to you, Jimmy Snyder. Hope you win the Calder.
That would be nice. Let's talk about on. Yay! Specifically, Scooters Coffee. And if you can, go to the drive-thrus on Highway 143 in Troxer Way in Highland or Vandalia Street and Indiana Avenue in Collinsville. And if you can't make those, you can go to any of the other 30 locations in the greater St. Louis area. That's amazing people, amazing drinks, amazingly fast. Scooters Coffee. You can also family owned and run small business that operates out of Maryville, Illinois. They specialize in laser cut hand painted signs, and they have options that are typically ready upon request, or they can complete almost any request for custom jobs. So I've seen he's been posting stuff online of kind of the new signs that he's been doing. And there was a Triad High School one that he did, and Father McGivney. They're the Griffins, so they have the Griffin there. And he had a store set up at the Civic Memorial, art fair or whatever. It's got all, Blue City Battlehawks. There was a Ford sign, a John Deere sign, all these things that are just pre-made already. He's already got done, but then you can also do the custom ones. So that's Hughes Custom Design. Find them on Facebook. And then last is Imprint Labs and co-owner, employee,
Eventual
owner and training. All right. So Luke is here from Imprint Labs, and he's going to tell us about it.
Hey, everybody. It's Luke from Imprint Labs.
Don't you be reading shit? Are you reading shit?
Oh,
Okay.
check the back screen.
All right.
We specialize in embroidery screen printing. So we do metal prints. We did Dakota's hat that he has on, I think.
Hell yeah.
Sublimation tumblers. So whatever you want on a cup, whether that's we did that. Look at that. That's a sublimated mouse pad. Really, whatever you want on a cup, we can do that. Whatever you want on a metal frame, we can do that. Imprint Lab on Facebook, as you can see from their Facebook, because they have it in the description.
Yes.
Chico says that Imprint Labs makes great products. If you have shit and you want it on shit, Imprint Labs is your people. It's fitting. It goes well. It just makes sense. All right. I want to talk about the Facebook post that Luke made in the St. Louis Blues Lounge that Dakota brought up earlier, and the season team that we had last year and how the team is this year. So I went through and compared our stats in the first 19 games of this year versus the stats of the last 19 games last year. Okay. So Blues this year so far in 19 games has scored 37 goals. Interestingly enough, that's good for 12th best in the league. 37 goals. Okay. We have given up 51. That's good. Has actually given up more goals than us,
Wow.
which is surprising. I did not expect that.
Take the over in the game.
Yeah, all right. Take the over. Yeah. Take the over just assume it's. I don't even know who would win. Actually, I think Austin Matthews is out too. So I'd say take the over and take the Blues to win in a shootout. Not a shootout. We suck at a shootout. 1-4 right now in the first 19 games of the season. Let's look at the last 19 of the last year's regular season. Keep in mind there was a 12-game winning streak in the middle of that. So that's going to bump up some stats a little bit.
Wait, hold on. You said the 12-game winning streak win.
The last 19 games of last year.
I thought you said, the last 19?
The last 19.
Oh. Okay.
When they were good. Because
Okay.
that's what we're comparing is the good team versus the
I thought
shit
we
team
were
that we have now.
comparing
Not the first 19 of last year. No. The last 19 of last year.
Okay, fair.
Okay, so that included the 12-game winning streak. So during that time, we went 14-3-2. In 19 games, we have forced 37 goals. Take a guess on how many goals we forced in the last 19 games of last year.
I don't know. You phrased it. I feel like it's just like around 37, just the way you asked it. Or it's under.
Oh, no. No.
Oh. I don't know. What you can go first.
Well, I know the answer.
19 games, 12-game winning streak.
I believe it flipped. I think like what he's wanted because like we've given up like 50 plus. I think we scored 50 plus.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. It's 72.
Holy shit!
In 19 games, we scored 72 goals.
It's 72.
What the hell is this?
Okay. For reference, the best team in the NHL this year, as far as goals forced, is Colorado. They've scored 56 in 19 games.
That's 3.7 goals
Dang.
per game.
We scored 72. Okay. In those 19 games, we also gave up 44 goals, which isn't far off from the 51 that we've given up now. And honestly, that 44 goals would place us in this season right now into a lot, but we scored significantly more than anybody else, and that was the way we won games. So to look at Luke's, comment about we didn't lose much. We lost Foxa, we lost Bolduc, we lost Suter, Letty. I guess that's it. Where did those other 30 goals disappear from? And sorry, you can't say Bolduc because he's not a 30 goal scorer.
Neighbors and Thomas, they got hurt, I guess.
That could be.
Some goal scoring ability. And Jimmy Snuggerud, P.S. Suter, and Nick Bukestad. I mean, Bukestad right now has more goals than Buchnevich. We're going to be on the fuck Buchnevich train this podcast, but hey.
Well, I mean, Thomas, Neighbors, and Buchnevich. I guess there's 3 right there. I don't know how many goals Buchnevich had in the.
I'd be ventured to say that it was probably more than 2 in those 19 games, but he probably.
But then again, the stars now 6 or like 9. Am I stupid?
5 or 6, I think. Yeah, one of those. So yeah, it doesn't look like. Honestly, the defense is the thing to worry about because during our 19-game win streak, our defense sucked.
Yeah.
It wasn't great.
I was about to say, but goals from the defensive end is what I was going to
Yeah, I mean, Parayko had a career year, the back end. Falk is actually off to, I think, a career year right now this year.
Yeah.
He's got, I
Broberg
think,
Broberg was never the same after his injury.
Yeah.
He was on quite a heater, until he got injured, and then he came back and was kind of, there. But
I think Parayko's career low year for offensive upside.
I believe. Looking at some more stats from this year, a little deeper stats for this year. Expected goals that the Blues should have scored right now has them at 42. They should have 42 goals on the year. We're under that at 37. It's not super far off. Best team in the league as far as goals scored. Right now we're at 37, so we're at 12th. Yeah, not super far off, but that's where our offense is. Our defense, whether it's the defense or the goalies, I think everyone's kind of aware that that's the issue on, which would put us at 18th worst in the league, which isn't awful. You'd obviously rather be better, especially if you're eyeing a playoff spot, but 18's not terrible. But instead, we've given up 51, which is 10 more than the stats say we should, which is why we're at 31st, which is why we've lost 9 games outright and 4 in a shootout or overtime.
Well, there's like 4 in that Blues Blackhawks game I went to that should have not went in.
Yeah.
Or like games we're just we're giving ourselves zero chance to come back. Like you said, the Blackhawks 8-3, I think Minnesota 5-0 to start the year. I mean, geez, Louise.
Washington.
The game we went to,
yeah, Utah game.
Utah game, like 4-0, quick. I mean, we saw our first hat trick in a 1 period.
It's like, yeah,
that's the first
in like
time
10 minutes.
Done in 10 minutes. Logan Cooley scores 3 goals. Like they're just allowing them at just such a high rate. I do believe that the Blues can turn around, but like what gives? And you mentioned the win streak. I believe that the Four Nations definitely fed into Benner having quite the end of the year, and Joe Holford just pretty much had to watch and fill in whenever needed, But like, what gets the Blues? What gets the momentum in their favor? Is it like? Do you think it's visibility? Do you think the Blues are blocking too many shots? Because right now the Blues are leading the league, or probably tops in the league with block shots. I mean, we're blocking. Are you? Ideally, if a guy goes low, the goalie takes high. But if they're taking away the ice, eventually your job as a goalie is to stop everything from 2 feet off the ice and above. But are we kind of screening our goaltender when we block shots like that? Are we not? Are we taking away his eyes? Like, I'm curious to see why we're letting in so many goals.
I might go back to Luke's comment earlier of fatigue. The top 4 play so much, and our offense isn't good enough. Actually, they're not scoring, but our offensive zone time hasn't been horrible. Like, I think our offensive zone time has been middle of the league to towards the top of the league. Like, maybe in that, but just if you're expecting the top 4 to be out there so much, and then they're scoring on rushes or they're scoring on possession, or we got Parayko out there for 2 minutes because he, played a long shift right before that, but then we needed him back out there because we had a defensive zone face-off and we wanted him help to get the puck out, whatever it may be. Like, fatigue, I think, might be a factor for those top 4.
You look at the penalty kill too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's atrocious.
So there was Parayko took a penalty in one of these games. I don't remember which one. Penalty kill. He did the whole 2 minutes.
It's just not going to be sustainable for an 82-game season.
So they rotated Falk and Fowler, and then they just didn't put in Tucker, or I don't know if I think it might have been Skinner that night. So they didn't give Skinner any PK spot.
You're just kind of, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And that was kind of brings up the Blues back-to-back. I forgot what 2 games it was a back-to-back on, but the press team was pretty surprised that the Blues held a morning skate. And Montgomery went on to say, like, why we don't need the rest. We clearly need to practice. Like, it's clearly not working. That taking a morning skate off is not an option. So you're just going to make your team more exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
This is what you're going to do.
So I wanted to look at the bright side and be like, you know what? Bright side of the Blues is Dvorsky, Stuggerud, the prospects, Stenberg, Peckerson. And I wrote this down, and Sam actually brought it up. The Thunderbirds having a crappy start to the season. They're actually worse. The Thunderbirds are 2-10-2 to start the season in the AHL. They've given up 57, which is 31st in the league. So it's not just the Blues; it's the whole program that sucks at hockey. That's good.
We're collectively shit.
Right. All right, Luke, let's have some fun. What time it is?
Teach me how to do it.
How to Doug? Sure, I don't know. It's my bet.
Let's see if you got
You haven't heard this?
run the blues. Teach me how to dub, teach me how to dub. You're the GM now, make a trade, make a plug. Cap space tight, but the roster's got a bug. So show us what you
When are you gonna make a new one? You already got that to work?
trade them, send them down to the A. Build a cup team like it's judgment.
It always says playoff collapse there, and it makes me hurt.
I know.
All right, Luke, you're teaching me how to Doug section question.
Yeah,
We never really talked about Gavin McKenna, but I think that's just, that's the plan now, because suck at soccer. Suck at hockey. Chico says, oh, shoot, it's a rave. All right. Luke, your question is, we've talked about the Blues not playing well, and there's been multiple reports out there that Doug Armstrong is open for business. So my question for you is, if you were in Doug's seat, how hard is it for you for your trading? You're getting at like the bottom of their value. Like, nobody on the Blues is playing well. So everyone you're trading, you're getting pennies on the dollar for whatever trade you have. So how hard is it for you to make a deal to say, you know what, we're losing this deal because Jordan Kyrou should actually be worth more, or Brady should be worth more, but they're playing bad, so you're selling them for cheap. So how hard would it be for you, or how hard do maybe you think it is for Doug to not just actually sell everyone away? Because he's definitely getting offers.
I mean, I feel like it's pretty hard. You're not getting what you want.
Good. Yeah, nailed it.
I also think, like, if you look at last year too, though, Doug said trade rumors were flying, 12-game win streak. Like, if this team doesn't pick it up, we're going to start trading. Isn't that what happened last year? Obviously, it's earlier in the season now.
Yeah, because Shen was in trade rumors last year just because we weren't going to be a playoff team, so he had the most value.
Yeah, and then we rattle off 12 in a row, and the team stays together.
So you think Doug Armstrong's fire sale, or we're open for business, is hey, we're going to listen to offers, but realistically, we're not going to trade anyone because we're hoping that the team figures it out?
Pretty much. Looking at last year, I mean, it was the same thing. Other than, I mean, I was going to say,
Who do you think has the highest trade value between Dalibor, Dvorsky, and Jimmy Snuggerud? If they were to go that route, and again, I know Blues fans are going to clutch their leverages tighter now, but
probably
why not be wild with it?
just because he's had more NHL experience. I'd say Jimmy, because he played in the playoffs. He had pretty good playoffs. Who's the higher pick? I don't even know. I know they're both.
Dvorsky would be the higher pick. He was 10. Snuggerud was in the 20s.
Just
But
right now, I'd probably say Jimmy Snuggerud.
Yeah, we kind of got lucky with Snuggerud because we picked him in the 20s, and then that next year he was on the first line for Minnesota with, I think, Logan Cooley and Matthew Nyes, and it was like, oh shit, this guy's freaking good at hockey. So he probably would have been like a top 10 pick had he played on that line before. But luckily, we kind of got him before that. So, Dakota, what's your thoughts? Do you think it's hard to sell, or do you have the thought process of, you know what, getting rid of these players is more important than who we get back? So more.
Dougie said last year, like, we were in a retool, and I don't really feel like we retooled shit. Like, I think we just kind of, I think we got better. And for us to be in a retool, like, we kind of have to be bad before we're better. But we really didn't have that spurt. I mean, we can say that 2 years ago we kind of like hit that like level of like, But as far as the season, I feel like it would be beneficial for us to kind of offload some salary to kind of like figure out where we need to kind of build things up. And I was talking to my dad about this when we were coming back from hunting. It's like if the Blues were to get crazy and they're going to start offloading, let's say, UFAs coming up next year and 2 RFAs. I can't remember who they are off the top of my head right now. But if you were to start kind of like picking apart those guys and kind of offloading those, I feel like you're kind of investing yourself into a 2 or 3 year route of making the playoffs. But for what cost? Like, you're going to get something in return for them that you can't see the result of for 3 or 4 more years. And are you willing to take that risk, 1, for your fan base, and 2, for your roster, just to, basically throw a dart at the board and hope you hit something? I think the Blues have a really good roster. I don't think we're very expensive. I mean, we looked at the roster a day ago, my dad and I. We don't really have too many guys that are super expensive. We talked about Buchnevich. He's very expensive, whatever it is. But like you said, the Blue, I think it's just really hard. Like their drafts or their selling stock is falling down. The Blues not producing, scoring goals. We have guys. Our top scoring threat on our team is, I believe, right? And they have what, 12 points? No, it's Thomas. Sorry, it's 8-3. Thomas is 8-3. So that's the guy that leads your team in points. Like nobody, like I'm sure there's a guy on a third line right now that's making just 11 points or 12 points. So like our draft, our selling stock is it would be really hard. Yeah, it'd be hard to get rid of.
All right. Strategy of hitting rock bottom, going full shit Hawks, and just selling everybody and, getting top 10 picks for 7 years in a row and restarting, which is not the Blues way.
That's not – you can't compare that, though. The Blues have a much better roster than what the Blackhawks had when they were just – it's easy to just say, oh, stockpile picks. But, like, we have our core of our top 6. It's just not –
At the time when the Blues decided that it was time to retool, we traded O'Reilly and we traded Tarasenko. Roster and how difficult it would be to trade those players. It would have been Parayko, Falk, Shen, Thomas, Kyrou. Like those are all people that if you're going full rebuild, those guys can't be on your roster because they're not very great now, But unfortunately, they're too good to be worse in the league. And if you're going full rebuild, yes, each year, that's not good enough. So
Exactly why it doesn't make a lot of sense.
right.
Snuggerud, Dylan Holloway, Broberg, and our two. Like, it's just not a team that's gonna. This won't continue.
I can't even remember who Chicago had, but I know they had
Very
they still had Tays and Kane were finally done, and they said, "All right, time to tear it down." They had Kirby Doc, I know, and they got rid of him. Did they still have DeBrincat? And maybe they got rid of him, but they really didn't have much that they had to get rid of. And then they had mediocre goalies, and they sold their mediocre goalies so they would purposely suck. Like, it was clear as day that they're like, we're going for Bedard, and it worked. It worked for them. So let's test Luke's hockey knowledge.
Soccer?
I almost wanted to say.
Guess right or sway. Left wing, center, right on the dot. Can you name the squad, or are you caught? From Boston Ice to Calgary Flame, do you know the line or just
Get it right. Fine, is it right? All right, Luke. Let's have some fun. See what you know. You know hockey, right? Because I made these hard. I bet Dakota doesn't get these. Actually, I said to Dakota, shit. Did you look at it? All right. This first one's hard. I don't know if I would get this if I didn't know. So your first one is left winger Andre Palat. Center, probably mispronounced that, but that's what it looks like. And right winger Stefan Nosen.
I mean, I know Andre Palat. I know that
Who
name.
does he play for?
At first, I thought the Devils, but that's not right because that's Jesper Bratt. Andre Palat.
Andre Palat, Juho Lammikko,
Yeah.
Stefan Nosen.
I'm just gonna take a shot in the dark. This team's coming to me. The Tampa Bay Lightning.
Ooh, that's not
Oh.
right. For the Lightning. So I think there's some thought process there.
I want to fact check myself. See if you
No, because whenever you look it up, it's going to tell you
is
who he
there
plays
more
for
to
now.
this. Are you gonna give me a
Maybe like
Oh,
go
you
with
mean-
your instinct, possibly.
He
Yeah,
plays on the Devils?
it's the Devils.
As soon as you said that, Jacob and I both playing these mind games with you.
Oh,
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years with the Tampa Bay Lightning, Mr. Palat has. So yes, he did play for the Lightning, but he plays for the Devils now. So what line for the Devils do you think that would be?
well, he played 10 years for the Lightning, and I have no idea who the other players are. So fourth,
No,
third.
it's the third line. Yeah, nice. All right, I did want to add that Chico gave us some insight on the Blackhawks shitting the bed for a while. He says selling Forsling will always. They sent him down to the AHL, put him on waivers, and he got.
So you got nothing.
So you got nothing for him. You didn't even sell him. You just gave him away like a yard sale for free. Okay. Next one, Luke. I decided to. Okay.
Rooming?
Instead of going left wing, right wing, center, I went left defense, right defense, backup goalie.
Okay.
Just now, look
I like that. I feel like that's
Are you ready?
like that might be. It probably won't be, but
Left defenseman is Dylan Sandberg. Right defenseman is Neil Pionk. And the backup goalie is Eric Comrie.
Jets.
That is the Jets. Nice. And then what line would that be for the defense?
It's not their first, I wouldn't imagine, because they have second.
That is their second. Nice. Dakota, did you send this to him?
No. I wouldn't cheat.
All right. And this last one is probably the easiest one. We are back to regular. The left winger is Cutter Guthrie.
Gauthier or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know, whatever. And then Mason McTavish.
I believe we just played them and lost two goal leads. Am I completely wrong, or one of those right?
No, you're.
So your guess is the Mammoth and
One of those.
You're so wrong. We made it. So if you listen to the podcast 2 weeks ago, we made a comment on this team.
Huh?
Well, he's never heard the music, so he hasn't
ago,
listened to the podcast.
Name the players again.
Cutter, I think it's Guthrie. I think is how it's pronounced, but it's
Oh, it's Gauthier.
Gauthier. Way. Or Beckett Seneca, who, if you remember, was the guy who got drafted like in like the second or third overall pick when he was expected to go like 7 or 8, and he had the face of just his mouth wide open. He just kept looking like this.
Oh, is it the Ducks?
It is the Ducks.
Yeah.
Chico cheated. He said, "Quack quack." Come on, Luke.
I didn't even see that.
I just pulled it up. Yeah, that's the second line. Yay!
Quack, quack.
Quack quack.
What-
All right, that's all I have for today. We covered the recent games. We did some Teach Me How to Doug. We did some Who's Line. We listened to some cool music. We compared this year's team to the last year's team. Springfield sucks. Logan Mayu has 3 games played and 1 goal down in the AHL right now, but he is -2, so he's not really playing great. But the team also sucks in hockey, so hard to have good stats when your team sucks. I forgot to mention that Luke has been on episode 2, 34, 55, 84, and 117, which means he's on an average of every 28 episodes.
See you guys in 28 episodes.
We've nailed it. All right. That's all the stats I have. Do we have anything else?
Any more questions, everybody? Anybody there?
Right now. All right. Then Luke, I say this, and I don't know if people listen to me. I say, give us a big "Let's Go Blues" and we'll get out of here. I mean, actually give me because people go, "Let's go Blues." Like what? Like I can't end a podcast like that. We're supposed to be exciting. Okay, so give me a real good. There it is. All right. See you, everybody.